Good morning, Chargers. Today what we're going to do is test for proportionality in graphs. I just want to get started right away. We only have two examples. Is this table proportional? Create a table of values and solve for equivalent ratios to justify your answer. You can see that I have a table right here because there are lots of things that are in this question. 1, it wants me to tell, is it proportional? 2, it wants me to create a table and solve for equivalent ratios to justify my answer. I can think that there are probably 3 points available in this question, meaning I need to do every single part of it. I see my x-axis, I have the number of days, so I'm going to put number of days, and above it I'm going to put x, because I know that's my x-axis, and then on my y-axis I have jam made, and I'm going to put y. Jam made, which is my y. Beautiful. Now I'm going to plug in some values where I see clear points. I see a clear point here, clear point here, here, and here, and here. So when x is 10, I go up, y is also 10. And when x is 20, or the number of days is 20, y is also 20, meaning in 20 days, I can make 20 liters of jam. Continuing on. In 30 days, I can make 30 liters of jam. And then 40 days, 40 liters of jam. So far I have one of my points. I've made a table of values. If this is all you do, you'll get 1 point out of 3. I need to say if this is proportional. Well, is this proportional? Is the number of days proportional to the jam made? I can test that by equivalent ratios, meaning y over x. 10 over 10 simplifies to 1. 1 liter of jam per day. Let's check the next one, 20 over 20. Again, I always do y over x. I'm going to do 20 liters of jam per day. Liters per day. And of course, that simplifies to 1. I'm going to do the same thing, 30 over 30, which will be 1 liter per day. And the last one is 40 over 40. All of these are going to simplify the same thing. Notice that I wrote the units each time. I can say, yes, this table is proportional. I know this because I tested for equivalent ratios in my table and on my graph. As I simplified, I found that it reduced to, or simplified, no reducing, 1 liter per day. Beautiful. Let's go on to the next example. Make sure you have all of this work down. Let's go. Is this table proportional? Create a table of values and show for equivalent ratios to justify your answer. Again, I see this is out of 3 points. The first thing I do is I fill in my table. My x is my number of weeks. And my y is my number of appetizer recipes. So I'm going to put just recipes. And this is my x, this is my y. The other thing that I meant to show you on the other page is that we can either do this by doing y over x or seeing the change. Every time I move, I'm adding 10. I'm adding 10. I'm adding 10, right? It's a constant rate that's happening. And when I have a constant rate, it gives me a straight line. I can already see that I have a constant rate. Let's check for proportionality though. Here we go. Clear point, clear point, clear point, clear point, clear point. When x is 1, y is 2, meaning that in 1 week, I learned 2 recipes. When x is 2, y is 3, which means in 2 weeks, I've learned 3 recipes. When x is 3, y is 4, which means 3 weeks, 4 recipes. I'm thinking you can probably see the pattern now. In 4 weeks, I have 5 recipes. If I want to see if this is proportional, I need to see, can my y over x, is it the same thing? Do I have the same unit rate? Let's see. I'm going to do 2 over 1. We'll simplify to 2 recipes per week. And notice that I'm going to write out my units for every single thing. Recipes per week. Then I do 3 over 2 equals 1.5 recipes per week. Follow along with me. Make sure my pen is your pen. Everything that I have, you have. I'm starting to notice that this is not the same number. Let's keep going to see if it changes. 4 over 3, because I do y over x, will be 1.3 repeating recipes per week. Okay, this is a very funny pattern. I'm going to stop right here. I can see that this is not the same number, which means it is not proportional. I also know that's true because it did not start at the origin. The origin is 0, 0. If you have a graph that does not start at 0, 0 and is not a straight line, it is not proportional. Let's get straight to practice.